Today on The Young and the Restless, Daniel loses it when Sharon tries to offer her condolences. Phyllis leans on Billy for support, and Adam tells Chelsea he has no future with Sally. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Before he can exit society, Adam spots Sally. She tries to barrel past him, but he begs her to give him a moment. He hasn't said all that he has to say. When he asks how she's doing, she says better. She'd rather keep it that way, and that means not talking to him. She's finally reached the point where she can make it through half a day without being gnawed by pain. Not me, he says. He thinks of her day and night. Spectra urges him to let it go. Even though she has deep feelings, they are slowly going away. Adam pleads with her not to deny what her heart is clearly telling her. That's not something she can do. It's too painful. He's made things this way. Carrie Katona's fiance got her youngest daughter's name tattooed on his back. Chelsea walks into Crimson Lights as Billy berates someone over the phone about not getting something done at work. He gets off the phone as she orders some hot tea. She joins Billy at a table and he explains that he and Victoria had a family meeting. He informed the kids they are no longer together. As with Connor, he blamed it on his work. Connor had already told Johnny. The kids seem okay with it. That's a relief for her. They sigh and drink their beverages as they try to make small talk about her son. She wonders if things will always be this awkward for them. He hopes not. They've been through too much for it to end up this way. With time, maybe they will be able to see each other and it won't be a big deal. That's something he needs to believe. The idea that they may never be comfortable again leaves them. Adam interrupts, surprised to see them together after Billy turned his back on her. The abbot suggests he keep walking. As the men bicker, Billy mentions that Adam hit him. This appalls Chelsea and Adam says it was Billy's fault. Things got heated when Billy tried sticking his nose in their business. Billy suggests that Adam uses her son to manipulate her. Getting up to go, he urges her to stop letting Adam do that. Once he exits, Adam and Chelsea are left to argue. She insists they are in no place to judge Billy after what they did to him. He hopes she's not thinking there is still a chance for her to get back together with her ex. Chelsea tells him to stop using her as a football in his stupid macho game. She needs Billy in her life, even if it's just as a friend. He can't see why. Billy is no hero. Chelsea reminds Adam that she wouldn't even be there if not for Billy. He has been her lifeline. Adam says that's only proof she doesn't really love him. What they had was just gratitude or obligation. A life raft isn't love. Throwing up her arms, she says he doesn't know what real love is. Real love is keeping each other afloat. When Chelsea urges Adam to put his energy into getting Sally back, he blurts out, "Sally knows how I feel about you." It was the final straw. Once she learned that they had no chance, Sally's closed her heart to him and moved on. He can see that his lies were wrong, but he's right about them. Their son can see what's between them even if Chelsea can't. Adam says that dealing with their son's diagnosis has changed him into the kind of man she needs. He's learned to resist the desire to be a hero. She says a lot more than that was wrong with them. Adam admits it, but if Billy wanted to rescue her from him, he's already walked away. In Chancellor Park, Sharon tries to offer Daniel and Lucy her condolences. They are still processing things. When she asks for details about what happened to Heather, Lucy says she's making it sound like it wasn't an accident. "What do you know?" Lucy demands. Her father asks her to wait in the car for him. After she walks away, he asks Sharon what's wrong with her. Has she gone insane? He just lost the woman he loves and she's grilling him about it. Maybe she should let them have some space to grieve in peace. He storms off. Phyllis stumbles into the athletic club and finds her daughter eating nachos with Chance. They can see she's upset. Falling into a chair, Phyllis announces she has terrible news. Once she informs them of Heather's demise, her daughter wonders how this could have happened. Chance offers to give them a minute and walks away to make a call. Phyllis is trying to pull herself together after crying to Nick. Her daughter is heartbroken for Daniel and Lucy. It finally seemed like his life was coming back together. Summer rushes past Chance on her way to see her brother. Phyllis tells Chance that she's never seen her son as torn up as he is now. He says that Daniel is going to need all the painful and confusing. She's not sure how this could get worse, so he explains that a friend at the GCPD says an autopsy report is coming and it could be brutal. Phyllis is just glad that he is there for Summer. Chance asks if Phyllis has anyone to lean on. She has to think about that and then suggests Nick is good at keeping her grounded. It's kind of him to be concerned, but she's tough and can handle this. Chance leaves for the station to see what else he can learn. As Phyllis stands at the bar, Sharon approaches her. Phyllis covers her face as Sharon starts offering her sympathies. She's sure Daniel sees her as the bad guy but promises she's not. Phyllis loses it and accuses Sharon of being angry that the spotlight is off of her when she was getting so much attention. She will never forget how she's attacked her family and belittled them for weeks. It was not kind and pretty, and she's determined to make sure no one forgets. She storms off. In his apartment, Daniel gets a call from Chance, who tells him he is coming by with some news about Heather. Summer shows up and gives him a long hug. Lucy is in her room trying to rest. Daniel says he had to break the news to Paul. Hearing the pain in his voice broke his heart and he lost it a little. He tells his sister that identifying the body was the hardest thing of all. He's been flipping between grief and numbness. It was so surreal to see the person in front of him when they weren't really there anymore. Summer tells him she will be there for whatever he needs. Sniffling, Daniel says he just feels like he's walking around in a daze and going through the motions. Chance arrives and slowly walks in. He explains that the autopsy is complete. He saw the preliminary report and his friend agreed to let him break the news. It turns out that all they thought they knew about how Heather died was wrong. She was likely in the water for hours and she didn't drown. She was dead before she hit the water because of blunt force trauma to the head. They don't know what happened. Summer assumes she just hit her head and Chance urges them not to jump to any conclusion. Daniel doesn't know what to do with this or how to tell his daughter. After Chance exits, Summer tells Daniel he shouldn't say anything about this to Lucy until there are more details. He thanks her for being there. She encourages him to rest, but he can't. When Summer offers to distract him and suggests they stay with her at the club, he says that he can't go. They are still trying to make sense of what happened. It still feels too unreal. He felt like the luckiest guy in the world when he and Heather reunited. He promised her that they would always be together. Now that's not a promise he can keep. Billy mopes into society and sits at the bar beside Sally. He orders a whiskey and she guesses he just saw Chelsea. She asks for details, so he explains that he was reminded of how much he still cares about his ex. It's probably a good thing that Adam interrupted them when he did. He's tried to bury it, but their sense of intimacy came back when they were together. They knew each other's dark sides. They went into the relationship with their eyes wide open. Billy was about to remind Chelsea of how special what they had was, but Adam blew a cold chill all over that. Changing the topic, they talk about work and being single again. They toast to that. Sally thinks he's doing a lot more than getting by and tells him that he's a good man. I promise things are going to get better, for both of us, she says. After a silence, Billy admits that no one has been so positive with him for a long time. He asks her to the launch party. She says she'd be delighted. Phyllis interrupts them, declaring that there is an important work problem. Once Sally walks off, Phyllis apologizes for breaking up the Lonely Hearts meeting. Trying to collect herself, she explains her job may be affected by something she's dealing with. Heather died, she announces. Billy is startled. She explains her son is torn apart and Lucy is devastated. Since they have history, Phyllis was hoping he could be her friend. As she sobs uncontrollably, Billy holds her. At Crimson Lights, Sharon cleans tables on the patio as Cameron sits and complains that her public performances have not been going well. Her fishing expedition with Daniel and Lucy was lousy and Phyllis was not buying her condolences. He urges her to be more careful and reminds her that she was arguing with Heather in public before she died. She needs to come up with a foolproof way to keep anyone from thinking she killed Heather. Since he does all the smart thinking for her, he reminds her that Daniel still hasn't paid. It's time for her to make the next move. Summer goes to Chancellor Park to meet with Chance. She tells him that her brother is a total wreck at the thought someone could have intentionally hurt Heather. He explains that the GCPD has launched an investigation. That's not going to bring